guys, my name is Michelle. Spring is in the air. I live in the high mountains in British Columbia, so we have really long winters and it's really officially feeling like spring. Today I want to mill some wood. Initially I wanted to just get it going, to fill the water tank, fill it with gas, check the air filter, check the oil, make sure that the mill is level, kind of clean some sawdust out. I also wanted to tidy up the area a little bit. I got a little fire going just with those propane tank end. I would ideally like to get a barrel. I'll just use that propane tank end for now. In the past, I've primarily milled hemlock, cedar, pine, and a little bit of fir. Like those are the trees that are predominantly growing on this property, as well as poplar. But there's a lot of poplar that grows here. And I'm not an expert in tree species at all. What I do know about this wood is that it's fairly undesirable in terms of construction lumber. I think furniture makers can use it. As you can see here, we've deemed it a no good wood and it's in this massive burn pile. These trees grow very fast. They get very tall and very heavy and they have poor root systems and they typically fall in windstorms and take down a plethora of good trees with it. We cut them down because they block the view, and we're also building some trails throughout this 10 acres that we've got here. We take them down for that reason as well. So this is a combination of fallen trees, cut down trees. I never gave it any thought until, I don't know, a month ago. Is this usable wood? I have a neighbor down the road that has a sawmill as well, and he told me that it does in fact make quite nice siding. So if you dry it properly, put a nice stain on it, it can look really good. It's piqued my curiosity enough that this is what I want to put on the mill today. We'll see what it looks like together. Let's pick a log. And actually, I think that one I was sitting on is a pretty decent looking one. Well, that was not fun. I got into trouble. There's little funny wind systems which I should have paid attention to more, but while I was cutting that poplar tree, the wind picked up and threw a spark and I ended up having a grass fire. Was in full on, I have like smoke inhalation, was in full on like fight or flight mode. There's no water down here. I tried to contain it the best that I could, but the wind kept picking up. Nothing I was doing was working. I got the ATV and I was ripping up to the house with buckets and coming down with buckets of water. I ended up calling the fire department because I had to just make a split decision. It was circumferential all the way down the bottom and it kept going down. Anyway, by the time they got here, it was out. I managed to get it out by myself and they just kind of dug a trench around for me. And yeah, that was really embarrassing, but it happens, and lesson learned. My lungs are really sore. I still want to put this poplar tree on the mill. Carry on. Oh man, not the bobcat too. Water got into the fuel container over the winter and we thought we'd fixed it. We had to lift it, drain it, flush it, but clearly there's still a bit of water in that line. But I did manage to get her going. I do this on my own. So I just have to take my time and rotate the log and make sure that it is square. Good morning, guys. I'm back. Mishi Goss is back at Mishi Milling, and today is a new day. So on top of the grass fire yesterday, Clyde is our senior rescue dog from Arkansas that we've only had for about 4 months. He got lost on a walk yesterday and got really off track. Thank God we had a GPS collar on him, so we knew where he was. It was just a matter of getting to him, so we had to drive to another road to the end of the road and hike on foot down a mountain and through thick brush to find him stuck in a creek, in the creek that we have here, just way down. And yeah, that was pretty scary too, because he was pretty scared, I think, and it was basically me leaning into the creek and my husband holding my feet, getting the dog to jump further into the creek, and me grabbing his collar and hauling him out. Yesterday was kind of chaotic. I'm gonna finish milling up this poplar. The thing that got me off track at the end of the day yesterday was the belt is loose on the mill. So this needs to be tighter than that, like no more than a centimeter depression. So I think that's my biggest issue, my biggest complaint with this sawmill is, in fact, the way that you have to tighten the belt is that you have to loosen the engine off the back, and it naturally wants to twist, and you have to keep it square. The system that they have engineered is terrible. The newer models that they've made, they've fixed this issue, but in this particular model, it's still a problem. So I'm gonna go through the process of tightening that. Then I'll finish milling this poplar. I'm gonna keep doing it into 1-inch planks. I don't really have a specific purpose for it yet. The goal for me for this year's sawmilling is to mill wood to build cabins. I have 2 cabins that I want to build. Whether I complete both of them or not, I don't know, but that's my goal. One is here at this property down closer to the creek. The other cabin is at our off-grid cabin up steep mountainside. There is a really beautiful location on a cliff that I want to build a cabin on. These are just little cabins, like 10 by 10. I contemplated a solar kiln, but I think that's a big project too, and I'm just not sure if that's where I want to put my time and my resources. First thing I'm going to do is build a platform to at least just stack this wood on, stack and sticker it and dry it for now. Okay, I've tightened it to where I think this is tight enough. Let me just check if it's square now. And it's not. It's off like a little bit. So I'm going to fiddle around until I can try to get this seemingly a little bit more square. We're talking it's just off just like a hair. Okay, I thought I would explain kind of what I did that helped ever so slightly. I added this thing here in order to take a clamp and put the clamp on here like that. And so I tightened the clamp. It's on the engine here and then on this bolt so that it would prevent it from wanting to kick out this way. And it did help just a little bit. So, I mean, that's as good as I can get it for now. Okay, so I'm done with the poplar and I kind of switched it up a little bit. I did these wider boards, and which are, I don't even know how wide they are, about 10 inches wide. And then I did this was at the bottom of just the leftover bits. I did kind of like a 2x6-ish material because I kind of decided what I want to do with it. And then the other stuff over here, I'd flipped it into these boards like that. So what are my first impressions? I don't know. Like, I think it's okay. I guess time will tell to see how it dries. It doesn't have a familiar wood smell to me, so it's sort of smells like cheap wood, I guess. You can see that I was a naughty girl and I was pushing a dull blade a little bit. You can see that it's a bit wonky. I wouldn't do that if I was trying to make good lumber, but this was just a trial. I just kind of want to see what the wood looks like. Yeah, so far so good. So what I want to do with this is, because I have no platform to put any wood on to dry, I have a pallet up at the house there that I'm going to grab, and I'm going to use that and this and combine it and make a platform to be able to stack and sticker some wood in the meantime. Anyway, that's it for me today, you guys, and we'll see you soon.